We're here live talking not only more Hopkins and Calvin Ridley, but Hall of Fame game pregame, but also Ceedee Lamb. We've got some news from Schefter. We've got some Jamar Chase updates from Schefter, some Aiyuk updates. JD5 is tearing it up in camp. He looks like a 5-year veteran out there, just knifing all over the field like a surgeon. And this guy's going to the mother freaking moon. He's going to Saturn. We've got all that and more. We're going to break down more of the Hopkins, Calvin Ridley situation in a second. Herbert's in a walking boot, and that's not good. The Fantasy Football Show, Monday through Friday edition. Rain or shine at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. That show, young man, begins right now. File on in.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show.
Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Lots of news to go over. A couple things right off the bat from Schefter. Actually, let's just real quickly, we did a whole show on this. If you want more Hopkins and Ridley talk, you can call into the phone line in a second. But just know that Hopkins is out 4 to 6 weeks with a knee. We don't know how long that'll end up being. We don't know how many games he'll end up missing. It depends on his recovery. Everybody's going to be potentially trying to creep up the value of Ridley, but I don't think we're all jumping on board the Ridley train if he climbs too high. You know, we take a look at his potential ADP and where he's going to go. I just don't know that it's going to be worth it for us to jump into the Ridley environment when he's going to maybe go. I mean, Ridley's been going right around this territory right here where he's like 6.1 to 7.1, whatever. And if he climbs into round 5, we determined on the earlier show, there's just too many better players to grab there. I mean, AR5 and best ball sitting in round number 5. Worthy's in round number 5, who we're starting to really, really like. Keon Coleman is in round number 5. And we've got a Keon Coleman addition to the old drop. I've made it even better. I made it about 1/3 longer, the Keon Coleman drop. So first $20 hauler, and I play the Keon Coleman drop. Every $20 hauler, I play the Keon Coleman drop. Let's get straight over to the news. This one from Schefter. Schefter says, Lamb and the Cowboys are not close right now. Prefacing that right now is, something we need to keep an eye on. Also, guys, Tyreek Hill is looking like an absolute machine out there. This is Tyreek Hill running. That's not fast speed. That's normal speed. Tyreek Hill out running right now. He looks insane. I just wanted to throw that out there because that is spreading around social media right now. I got it on my Instagram if you want to go watch it on my Instagram. It's absolutely crazy. Here's it one more time. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. He looks absolutely electric. And then you got to ask yourself, okay, who are the top wide receivers in the draft, right? Hill, he's getting a little older, so we're factoring an injury risk, right? Well, what about holdout Ceedee Lamb? Where's the injury risk level there? What about holdout Jamar Chase? Where's the injury risk there? And JJ's quarterbacks, is it Tyreek Hill? Does Tyreek Hill actually have less injury risk than those other the other 2 wide receivers, and then situation risk for JJ? Tyreek Hill may have moved to my number 1 wide receiver spot merely because I don't see a world where he isn't a top 2 wide receiver, top 2 or 3 wide receiver, unless he misses time. There's no drop off yet. That guy's just too quick right now, too quick. But injury is going to be a concern at some point in the very near future. We're talking like 1 year. But it's absolutely insane seeing him run like that. But I think it's relevant to talk about Tyreek Hill right now because we're talking about Lamb. Lamb's deal is not close. What happens there? And then we got Jamar Chase news by Schefter as well. He updated on all the 3 wide receiver situations right now. Jamar Chase and the Bengals, no progress on a new deal. And as we heard yesterday, Jamar Chase is not going to step foot on the field from a practice standpoint with other players with contact and risk of getting hurt. He's not going to step on the field until he has a new contract. Until he has a new deal, he will not be stepping foot on the field in 2024. At least for right now. That's the stance he is taking, and he's not scared to take it. Jamar Chase is in a different situation than Lamb Chops and other wide receivers. They got their new deal with 1 year left on their contract. Aiyuk's in his 5th year on the 5th year option. He's got 1 year left on his contract. Ceedee Lamb's trying to do this in year 4, a year early. But this is on the Bengals because they opened the door. They allowed the discussions to happen. They didn't take a hard-nosed stance on it. And now this guy doesn't want to be paid $1 million. I'm not saying $1 million wouldn't help any one of us, but Jamar Chase, according to the market's getting absolutely blasted. He's making $1 million this year, and he doesn't want to go through an entire season making $1 million. And given his value across the market, again, I don't feel bad for anybody making $1 million, but across the market, given the amount of money these receivers are making that are not as good as him, this is crazy that he is getting paid $1 million. And it's also crazy that the team doesn't say, you know what, he signed a contract, whatever, he needs to stick to it. They're saving a boatload of money by locking him up now because $112 million guaranteed probably gets it done. If they wait until next offseason, it's going to be $125 million guaranteed. Instead of $35 million, it's going to be $39 million. Maybe we see the first $40 million receiver because it's getting out of control. It's out of control. It's got to stop. There's no recession in the NFL. There's no, oh, this might go down. Hall of Fame game just kicked off, by the way. There we go. There we go. I mean, it's exciting to see football. We're not going to see a lot of players that we're all that interested in, but it's going to be fun to watch. It's fun to have on in the corner here. But Bengals and Jamar Chase, no closer, no progress at all. And this owner Brown of the Bengals says that the time for doing deals is in the offseason, meaning it's over. The offseason's over. And he said he's not ruling it out, but the die has already been cast and a deal's not likely. He said not likely to happen any longer until the offseason approaches. Jamar Chase may need to tuck his tail between his legs and come home. We're not sure. And just to make it abundantly clear, Jamar Chase is at practice. He's out there in a helmet, in his uniform, holding in. He's catching footballs with the ball machine. He's not out there like Aiyuk in street clothes pretending to have a hamstring problem. He's actually out there doing drills at least. So Jamar Chase is not even being called a hold in. He's actually doing a whole lot more than Brandon Aiyuk. Brandon Aiyuk's walking around with a backpack and a t-shirt on, and he's doing nothing. However, and while we're on that topic, Brandon Aiyuk was seen dapping up with Kyle Shanahan yesterday. And there's a video clip of this that I can play for you. Let's go to our boy Raj's page and we'll find it there. But there's a clip of the two dapping it up. Here it is right here. So Brandon Aiyuk is walking, you know, almost looks like he had a little limp there for a second, but he's just walking. He's in his street clothes, and he walks up to John Lynch first, who's throwing a ball. And he greets him in a way. Look, you're there. This is not the first practice he's at. You've been there every day, and it looks like kind of a congratulations. Then look at this dapping up with Shanny. That looks like something happened. That pat, you know, you saw him yesterday, so you're not. It's not like there's something like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while, pal. How you doing? It's either one of two things, probably, and what it could have fell through because we haven't heard anything today. It's, hey, you deserve it. I'm happy for you. Okay, you're going to play, you know, football with your best friend in Washington. That could be it, right? People are trying to make a story about it one way or the other. No one knows. Or it looked like a little bit more like things were good. Like, glad we got it done. And it was like a pat on the back. You just saw him yesterday. So there's no way this is just a hello. We don't know what to make of it. But then Schefter comes out today and says, and he acknowledged it. He said, the dapping up, we all saw it. But it's nothing. There's nothing going on. He said there's no contract being worked on that he knows of. And maybe he's wrong. Maybe he's right. We don't know. But he says it's not going great. This is Schefter today after the dapping, talking about the dapping, talking about the broski hug, hugging it out. He acknowledged it in this statement. He said, "It's not, I see it. I saw it. Everybody saw it, but it didn't mean anything because it's not going great. No end to this insight for right now." So we'll have to see what happens. There's still a possibility this guy just plays on his 5th-year option. There's still a possibility that this guy Aiyuk gets traded. There's still a possibility that Aiyuk gets a new contract. All three things could happen. There's probably a 33.33333% chance that all three of them are possible at this stage. It's hard to really know. But this is not a great sign because it's not going great. So those are the 3 updates on those 3 guys. There is no other news. Hopkins, again, if you're late to the party, out 4 to 6 weeks. I don't know that we're drafting Calvin Ridley any higher than top of round 6. So if he moves into round number 5, I'm out. Justin Herbert in a walking boot, and he'll be out for several weeks, or at least a couple weeks, maybe several weeks. And this puts him on track to probably play week 1 versus the Raiders, but I think that's an optimistic timetable for an injury that's putting him immediately out. No, like, hey, we'll take a day to day. They've already diagnosed him with the fasciitis in the foot, and they're putting this guy in a boot immediately, and they're already determining he needs to miss 2 weeks. That to me feels a little early to start guessing about week 1, but I think they need to save face. They need to talk like that. We're hoping to be, what would you say? I don't know. He might not play week 1. That's not very rah-rah, and Harbaugh's very rah-rah. Harbaugh also said that Gus Edwards had surgery, didn't have surgery. We don't know what's going on there in LAC. It's a circus over there. I'm the only one that's going to admit that it's a circus over there. Everybody else wants to act like Harbaugh deserves all of these accolades in the NFL right now before he completes a 2024 season because of what he did in the NFL in the past, because of what he did in college football. He's out here making this weird roster, and Herbert's injured. This is not a good situation. I'm not after McConkey. I maybe take Joshua Palmer in the weirdest situation. I'm taking Vidal, and that's it. My Vidal shares are up, and even those I worry about, because you don't know what Harbaugh's going to do. You have no clue. J.K. Dobbins is a walking injury. J.K. Dobbins has this is his knee, by the way. J.K. Dobbins is... This is the odds of J.K. Dobbins being healthy is slim to almost none. J.K. Dobbins is coming off an Achilles tear. He's rushing back from an Achilles tear. Achilles tears, no running back in the history of the NFL has ever been a top 10 running back or return to top 10 running back status coming off an Achilles tear. Period. Nobody. Deontay Foreman, who got injured, prayers up today. But it seems like he'll be okay. Deontay Foreman's the closest thing we've had to a successful Achilles tear recovery for a running back. It's all about explosion for Achilles tears. You're just not coming back to form. And J.K. Dobbins is the most injury-prone running back in football. He's the most injury-prone running back in football. Akers and him are the 2 most injury-prone. There's no way this guy's staying healthy, coming off an Achilles tear, and his calf, like Aaron Rodgers, is very, very different. And the difference between Aaron Rodgers' calf size, they're way off. Aaron Rodgers, I showed this earlier. I don't have JK's in front of me, but this is Aaron Rodgers' calf. The difference between these two calves is crazy. I have it here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. I have so much news from all of the past couple days. I don't even know if I can really find it quickly enough to put it on screen. I have it here somewhere. God, I have so much news. So much has happened the last couple of days. I don't even know. Here it is. I think this is it. So this is Aaron Rodgers right now. So let me explain something about J.K. Dobbins. This calf right here on the left is obviously his injured leg, right? And it's so much smaller than the one on the right. The symmetry's not there. This is why Christian Watson struggled with hamstring injuries all over the place, right? But at the same time, Aaron Rodgers is not a running back. His explosion, he doesn't need to explode like a running back does. He kind of meanders around. So there's risk of injury, sure, but the compensation risk to Aaron Rodgers versus a running back is night and day. This is what JK's also struggling with. I'll try and grab the graphic of JK. And for a running back, that is an injury waiting to happen. You cannot come back at the running back position and have this type of difference between the two leg sizes. JK's a walking injury, and it's a disaster waiting to happen, as is a lot of this Charger fantasy football production. I'm not saying the Chargers can't sneak out wins, run the damn ball, whatever, but fantasy football, it's a clear stay away situation, especially with Herbert now in a walking boot. Hopkins, we got that. This news right here, Colin Cowherd says, and I'm not saying listen to Colin Cowherd, but this has been being talked about a lot, and your boy Smitty's been even intrigued about Joe Milton and just letting him go out there and just see what he can do while you let Drake May develop. And what's the worst that can happen? You shove Drake May out and Joe Milton's impressing and supposedly better in camp. What's going to happen to Drake May if he's looking over his shoulder at this other rookie QB that shouldn't have been a consideration? He's a nothing burger. He's a party trick. He does flips. He's 250 pounds, 6'4", and he does backflips. Big deal. I don't need to worry about this guy. However, he's doing really well in camp, and he's reportedly doing better than Drake May. Now, Drake May's looked good and he's looked bad. He's had a mixed review, for sure. But Colin Cowherd, and again, this isn't necessarily Colin Cowherd's idea. He's hopping on a lot of other people's trains on this one. So he said, don't be shocked if Joe Milton wins the starting job. This is not something that's surprising from him because he says wild things. I'm just telling you that I believe, Joe, there's something under the hood here that a lot of people haven't seen yet, and they're willing to judge really quickly the situation. I told Travis, I told Denny, I told all of my New England Patriot subscribers here on the channel that they got a steal in Joe Milton. That Joe Milton should have went to the Raiders. Joe Milton should have went to the Giants. That the Giants and the Raiders not only diarrheaed the bet on draft day and didn't aggressively go get Penix Jr., didn't aggressively go get Bo Nix. They sat back on their hands and did nothing, like horrible organizations that they are right now. Right now they are. Right now they are. The Raiders are run very poorly, and I think Pierce thought he might have that it factor. He proved to me nothing so far. The fact that Pierce sat on his hands, and maybe he doesn't have full control, but that's on him too, because you shouldn't have taken a job that won't allow you to do what you need to do to succeed. So either way, it's on Pierce. But Pierce sat on his hands and didn't go get Joe Milton. Didn't go get Rattler. Two quarterbacks that have at least a chance. And you punted quarterback. You didn't get aggressive. I said Penix Jr. was going in the top 10. I said it since January. And people laughed at it. But it happened, didn't it? And so this guy sits back. The Giants sit back. Joe Milton's out there for the taking. And I said to Travis and Denny and every one of you Patriot fans out there, you got a steal in Joe Milton. And I think he could be, not for sure, not a guarantee, something we need to look at. And it could happen. And there's no fault or harm or anything to shove Joe Milton out. And just see what happens. Because if he fails, then May's got nothing in terms of looking over his shoulder to worry about. And you at least know what you have in Joe Milton. But if you don't test that out, you don't know what you got. And right now, Joe Milton is something I'm interested in. And even if it's just to trade him. Like you picked him up, good job. Now the Raiders are drooling and foaming at the mouth that this kid goes out there and tears it up during the preseason. You just give him a lot of exposure. Now maybe he fails. And that's fine. Then you know what you're dealing with. But I truly believe Joe Milton is an interesting player. I just think he's an interesting player. Very interesting. I don't know how this got on my screen. I know how. I just wanted to say, hey, H-Chan's going to the moon. No, Saturn.
To Saturn.
Going to Saturn. H-Chan's going to Saturn. Look at this man. Oh, he's too small. He's going to get hurt, Smitty. Look at him. Look at him. Look at H-Chan. Look at him. This is what got me in shape. Your boy's down about 20 to 21 pounds since this video, this photo dropped. I came in here and I said, we're going to start lifting. We're going to start getting in shape. 10 to 12,000 steps a day. This photo, even though he got bigger, it made me want to get smaller. It made me say, I want to be in shape like H-Chan. And so when this image dropped on social media, I decided to drop LBs. And I'm down 21 pounds now. And I owe it to H-Chan. I owe it to Achan. I owe it to Achan. And if anybody wants to join, it's not too late. It's not too late. This guy's a motivating man. This guy's a motivating man, too. This guy's an enigma right here. Curious case of George Pickens. Probably one of the most talented, like a top 12 talent in the NFL at wide receiver. It's just, we worry about his headspace. We worry about, usage. We worry about development. A lot of people say he struggles with this and that. I love this kid. I don't know that I love his 4th round ADP, but if he's in 5, I'm scooping him up left and right. I think in best ball, I don't tend to draft him as much because he goes in 4. In non-best ball, he tends to linger longer, and then I think in non-best ball, I'm gonna be smacking the draft button when it comes to Pickens. He makes this unbelievable catch today that was it was a 50-50 ball that he caught like behind him and then twisted around. It was unreal. It was unreal. George Pickens is a talent. We've said this on the channel before. He's a moon man last year. He's a top 12 talent wide receiver wise in the league. Can he put that into practice? Can he execute upon that talent? It's hard to say, but I love drafting him at the right spot. Again, Hopkins news, not going great with Brandon Aiyuk and the Niners, according to Schefter today. After the dapping experience, by the way, this is not where he's not in the know about the dapping. Okay, everyone's talking about but Shanahan and Aiyuk, they dapped it up. This is after. This is him acknowledging it in the same sentence. Lamb, not close. Bengals, no progress. So a lot of negative wide receiver updates here from Schefter today. And then Hopkins, not good. Herbert, not good. Lots of news, a lot of negative news. Dial into the show.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
And then Geno Smith, that's not good news either. Geno Smith, look, there's reports that Geno is getting tested for his hip. So we have to take a look at that and figure out if that's going to be an issue. But right now, Geno Smith is definitely a concern. Let me put this on screen. I'll put the topic on screen. Geno Smith is currently the topic at hand. Remind me to keep this updated as we go, people, because this is very helpful from a replay perspective and just in general. You jump into the live stream, late and you don't know what we're talking about. I want to make sure I keep this up on screen. So Geno getting his hip looked at. It doesn't look good. And let me tell you something. I feel like Seattle dropped the ball too. As much as I love Grubb and as much as I love DK, Geno having a hip issue, and it might be nothing in the week or two, but they're looking at it right now. We've heard nothing but horrible things about Howell. Howell's just a disaster. Howell's a borderline disaster according to all the reports. But hopefully Geno is okay. 404 caller, and then I'll go to Sebastian. 404 caller, what is your name and where are you calling from? 404.
Clay Walker from Georgia.
Clay from Georgia. What's up, Clay?
Yo, so I got the 12th pick in my dynasty league.
Yes, sir.
We started up this year, and I'm thinking about passing. If Jahmyr Gibbs gets there, do I pass on Jahmyr Gibbs and just go Kyron Achan?
Look, as much as I love the Achan Kyron situation, and I'm trying to scoop it up at every turn, I think at the end of the day, like Gibbs is Kyron, without some of the injury risk and the necessity to cuff him the same way. Achan cuffed is Gibbs. Gibbs is equal to those guys if they're totally cuffed and locked up. But the value of Gibbs is in the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 territory. Kyron's going in round 3, bro, in best ball, round 2 in non-best ball. Achan's going in round 2 in best ball and top of round 3 in non-best ball. So your question is kind of like saying, hey, Smitty, I really like, this stock, okay, and Apple stock. I really like it, but it's about $100 less than this other stock. But I know it'll be worth as much later. Do I just take it? Like, no, you got to play the stock market game enough. And at the end of the day, Gibbs is there. It's not like Gibbs is going to fall off. It's not like one of those things where you say to me, okay, JT has a higher ADP than Kyron. Would I actually draft Kyron over JT though? Yes, because it's close enough to where I'm not going to get Kyron back. I'm just going to push it to the limits there and say, dude, this is what I feel. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get my guy. But you're talking about Gibbs and Kyron Achane not being in the same rounds, bro. So if I'm you, I'm playing the odds game more. I'm not pushing my luck and passing on a top 5 to 10 overall player. Gibbs is not only a top 5 running back, he's a top 1 to 5 running back. Not only is Gibbs a top 1 to 5 running back, Gibbs is a top 5 overall potential player. Gibbs comes into a season where he was tied for first with Christian McCaffrey with top 3 finishes 6 times, and he didn't even get going until week 7. He was basically not used until week 7, and he tied Christian McCaffrey having 6 top 3 running back finishes, bro. That is insane. That means he was better than Christian McCaffrey had he played the whole year. But, and let me ask you a question, bro. What rank is the offensive line that the Detroit Lions have?
It's got to be top 6.
It's 1.
Right?
It's 1.
1?
It's 1.
Right.
According to not just one source like everybody. So Gibbs is a must draft, my man.
I got one more question if you'll let me.
All right, hurry up.
So in the rounds 3 and 4 turn, I'm 100% picking Kupp, but for wide receiver, it's split between do I take Debo or do I risk it and get Neighbors? Debo, that's how ESPN works.
Debo to me, bro, is a locked in second round pick. Debo to me has top 5 wide receiver upside this year. Neighbors is, I don't want to say a complete avoid in round 2, but I'm not doing it. I don't think he's a bust. I think the volume will be there. We're seeing what he's doing with very little. He'll take a catch. He'll make a move. He'll figure out a way, but it's going to be hard sledding, bro. Every time this guy has 100 yards and 8 catches and no touchdowns, he's going to be working his tail off. And at some point, I worry about hospital balls, getting him hurt, overworking, getting him hurt, carrying his team on his back, trying to get that extra yard just to keep the chains moving because he gets some stupid pass thrown to him 8 yards short. And he's like doing everything he can. The odds of Neighbors getting hurt in this situation are higher than if he was in a great situation, not getting horrible passes thrown his way. Danny Dimes is awful. He's never produced a top 30 wide receiver. Terrible. So you tell me, Niners offense, electric, Debo can't be game scripted out, bro. Debo can't get game scripted out. They could be losing by 10, he's in it. They could be winning by 10, he's in it. If anybody gets hurt, he's even more in it. If Aiyuk gets hurt because he's holding out right now, very high likelihood of Aiyuk playing bad or getting hurt. Historically, the odds are really high of him getting hurt or playing bad because of this holdout. Debo, who benefits? Debo. Debo's a second round lock, bro. Neighbors, in the 3rd round, I probably still won't even draft him in the 3rd round. I'm just being honest. But I don't Smitty disapprove him in the 3rd round. I Smitty disapprove Neighbors in round 2. Easy call, bro. Yeah. Easy call. All right, hey, Clay, you can put yourself on mute. You can put yourself on mute. I'll come back to you. Let me get these super chats out of the way, then over to Sebastian. So, guys, stay muted if you could on the phone line, please. Are you looking to buy Chigakonkwo at his current ADP? Yeah, in best ball. In non-best ball, there's too many good tight ends to be messing around with Chigakonkwo, but in best ball, I draft 3, so I have a nice rotation going, so I definitely take them. Viral, appreciate you. Round 3, these guys fall. DK, Josh Allen, Kamara. Give me Josh Allen. Round 4, Kupp, Anthony Richardson, Trey McBride, Tank Dell, Kenneth Walker. Give me Kupp or Tank in that order. I want McBride the next round, but that's who I'd take. I'd take Josh Allen, I'd take Tank Dell, or Cooper Kupp. Let's say Cooper Kupp, and then I get Keon Coleman later. Why do I get Keon Coleman? I'm still waiting for the first $20 super chat so I can show the new enhanced 1/3 longer video drop of Keon Coleman because I added about 1/3 more to it, and it's absolute glory. Thank you, Viral. Appreciate you dropping the super chat, my man. $10 holler from Ian. Gets a moonshot. Sebastian, I'm coming for you. Hang tight. I was thinking of going for Bijan mid-first rounder. You know, I take Bijan 1. I take Bijan. I think I'm deciding today, moving forward, I'm taking Bijan more often than Christian McCaffrey at 1. Same song and dance as last year. Who cares? So what? It's how I feel. It's my I'm planting my flag. I came out here like a you could say a wild man last year, saying Bijan's my number 1 overall player. And did he fail me? Yeah, he did, because he was running back 9. Did I lose leagues because of it? No. Every league that I won pretty much had Bijan on it, and I still won those leagues, whatever, because Bijan was still very good despite being handcuffed and have a one leg handcuffed behind his back. He still was amazing, and I don't care. I'll rinse and repeat this all day long. I know what my eyeballs saw. Bijan's it. I can't help that Arthur Smith did what he did, but I know Bijan is that guy. If anybody's taken CMC down this year, it's Bijan. The likelihood of CMC suffering injury, a little bit higher than it is Bijan, right? Bijan's younger, just getting started. Injuries can hit anybody, but I'm banking on Bijan. Bijan's my number 1 player right now. If I'm going RB, Bijan season. Sorry, I didn't even read his question. I just went off on a tangent on my own. Started screaming at his super chat. I was thinking of going for Bijan mid-first round. Mahomes in the 2nd, MHJ in the 3rd. That's weird. I don't know what format you're playing in, but MHJ goes in round 2. I've never seen MHJ go in round 3. I've yet to see it in any sort of redraft, ESPN, Yahoo, whatever. Maybe it happens on Yahoo and I'm not on Yahoo a lot, whatever. But MHJ is not going in round 3 on any sort of regular basis, bro. So flip those. Mahomes does go in round number 3. If this is super flex or something, Mahomes isn't even falling to 2. But I definitely love the trio. I love where your mind's at. Bijan, MHJ, Mahomes. But, look at ADP, because I don't know if you're looking at ADP or if your league's weird. And JD5 in the middle rounds as QB2. If this is a super flex, you're not going to pull this off, though. Mahomes ain't falling to round 2. If this is your backup QB, JD5, I like it. Or I could take a late pick, grab top QBs in first round. This sounds like super flex. He's saying I could take a late pick, grab top QBs in the 1st and 2nd rounds, best available. It sounds like a super flex. I don't know how. Bro, Mahomes goes 1, 2, or 3 overall. Ian, you need to call in. I appreciate you to the moon for your $10 hauler, but we're confused here as to what's going on, I think, Ian. Ian with a $5 10-team 2 QB leagues, picking draft slots tonight by spinning a wheel. Even though it's 2 QB, my league mates never pick QBs early. Okay, so he's answering in a second super chat right there. I'm yelling at him, and the answer is sitting there. Bro, if you can... Okay, let me pull everything back. If you can draft what you just mapped out, MHJ in a super flex in round 3, Mahomes in a super flex in round 2, and Bijan in round 1, and then you go get Cousins and Penix Jr. as your QB2, or JD5 if he falls, you're winning this league, Ian. Look at me in my glasses. You're winning this league. I want you to write your team on a napkin, take it to the local bank, and see if they'll give you an advance on your funds. Just slap that napkin against the glass and go, what kind of IOU can I get for this? And I think they're just going to hand you a blank check. I can't promise that. I make no guarantees about that. But good Lord, son, if you pull this off, you're going to be an absolute legend. And your league needs to know what's up. They not ever played Superflex before? What are we doing drafting Mahomes in round 2 in a Superflex? Do these guys know what in the hell they're doing? Is this the grandma league? Is this the nursing home? Are there actually live living people? Or are they in comas? Like, what's going on? Justin with a $2 hauler. Ridley was already kind of priced high. Yeah, I don't disagree on that, bro. I don't disagree at all. Viral dropping the $20 needed. He says, Keon to the moon. Here's the new enhanced, much longer Keon Coleman video. Enjoy. I'm sorry if I had the volume really loud on that. I turned it down at the end there, so next time it should be at the appropriate volume. I think it was redlining the hell out of there. All right, so thank you for the super chat. And the final super chat, then over to Sebastian. This super chat from Channel says, "Happy August, Smitty. Football's back. Really like Keon and McLaurin's value. McLaurin to the moon, bro. Wide receiver 3. Do you have any analysis on both? Hope you're enjoying your summer." Well, I mean, we talk about Keon constantly, so go look at the Keon Coleman, the next Tank Dell video, the next Puka Nacua Tank Dell video. It's got a picture of Keon on it, and you'll get a whole bunch on that. But yes, Keon Coleman's my next Tank Dell, my next Puka Nacua. And I don't want to hear that they don't go with the same territory. I don't care. I can decide however I want to define the next Tank Dell, because your boy told you about Tank Dell. We told you. We told you. So it could be however I want to define it. It doesn't have to be the exact same ADP. What it is a player that people don't see coming, and they're going to explode on everybody, and that's Keon Coleman. As for McLaurin, McLaurin is a straight baller like DJ Moore was, hiding, waiting in the weeds, never at a quarterback. We knew DJ Moore was good, but we could never really see it actually unfold. Then he gets Justin Fields, and DJ Moore becomes number 7. In most formats last year, DJ Moore was wide receiver 7. And so I think McLaurin is so much better than people know and realize and want to remember, because they just think, oh, yeah, he kind of hasn't done it. Just wait. McLaurin might be going to the Moon Man list very, very soon, if not by the end of tomorrow. I have to decide how many spots we have, but absolutely love McLaurin. Did I say Keon Coleman? McLaurin. Keon Coleman's already on the moon. He's right here. Let me show you the Moon Man list.
The Moon Man, dropping loads in outer
So Keon Coleman might move to the Mars Man list, because in the video, he technically goes to Saturn. He's headed there, is what he's trying to tell you in the video. Sebastian, you're live.
Yeah, what's up? I totally agree with you that Bijan is RB1. I mean, give me the 22-year-old top prospect over the 28-year-old any day of the week. I don't really care that it's CMC. That's just me, though. I'm just more of a Bijan guy. But I had a couple running back questions. One, do you think we can draw anything from today's game as far as, like, the Texans RB2 and then potentially anything in the Bears backfield that they're on today? Or do you think they're not using any of those guys?
No, yeah. Today,
I had one more.
Today is about,
What's
like...
that?
Today is about, like, let's see who we need to cut. I don't think we're gonna have much at all, bro. You're not gonna recognize almost every person in the box score.
Oh, okay, perfect. And then I had one more question. It was actually Jonathan Taylor versus Saquon Barkley, because they're going right there. I know you're more of a Barkley guy. I am more of a Barkley guy too. But I mean, just looking at it, just the situation, we know that Barkley's offense and talent is higher than Jonathan Taylor's. But do you think Jonathan Taylor's age gap and mileage closes the gap a little bit on that? Because the more I'm starting to look into it, I think they're closer than I originally had thought.
I don't know that I would say, like, one is a mistake over the other. Like, Barkley is a player that, like, when you say closer, we don't know what Barkley is, bro. Nobody does. Nobody knows what Barkley's capable of. He's literally been in prison over in that New York Giants offense. We have no clue how good of a season he's going to drop on everybody. So these guys have similar ADP. I don't think anybody's crazy to have one over the other. There's just no way to tell this early on. You've got to take a stance, plant your flag, and predict. The only thing I'll tell you is we know what JT is. He's probably not going to get any better. It's just a matter of him staying healthy. We know what he is. He also has an offense that vultures touchdowns, as Barkley does. So they have two quarterbacks that vulture touchdowns, but one of which we know wants to feed. Well, both of them, it's tough. Both of them want to feed the running back, but I think the offense runs through AR5 in a little bit different way than the offense runs through Hurts. It runs through Hurts in a way that I think Hurts is going to facilitate. AR5 feels like he's going to have the football in the end zone. You know what I mean? So They're very close in terms of their situations on one hand, but I feel like AR5 is going to be controlling the drive, the offense in the majority of plays more so than Hurts. Hurts is going to be facilitating and being a big reason why, but he's going to throw for more touchdowns this year. They're going to feed Barkley. They proved last year in Philly they wanted to run a ton. This is a new offense, new offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore he's already said he's going to run the hell out of Barkley. They're going to throw to him more than they've ever thrown to a running back before. And they want to start looking a little bit out for the health of Hurts. Hurts isn't scared to run, but I think the team is like, look, instead of having him do the tush push from 3 and 4 yards away, now we can hand those to Barkley. Barkley is going to, in my opinion, be top 3 in terms of rushing yards in the league, contending for the rushing title. He's going to be top 3 in rushing touchdowns, contending for the league leading touchdown getter on the ground. I think Bijan and Kyren. I think Kyren and Barkley and Bijan will be like battling it out for the top rushing touchdown leader ranking. JT, I like him. I don't dislike him. This isn't a knock on JT. I just think this is the more talented player. We just haven't seen him have a good offense. He gets handed arguably the second best line in the league. And while the Colts have a really good line as well, I think I've got these stats up here. If we go to, I think AR5's, I think I got AR5's offensive line rank based on my assessment of averaging different things. They're top 5. I put them in top 5 because it's hard to know, but they're kind of a risky, bold top 5. I think some might have them in the 6 to 10 range. But Jalen Hurts has a bona fide, almost everyone agrees, top 2 or top 3 offensive line. And so does Barkley. So I just think, I don't know. I'm torn on it, but at the end of the day, if it comes down to me and I've got one team, I'm going Barkley all day long. But doesn't mean that I don't like JT. I just think JT's a couple ranking spots below. I'd take Kyren over Taylor, and I honestly would take Achane over Taylor. I'd take Barkley about even with Achane, but I take Kyren over all of them.
I agree with you on the Kyren. The biggest thing with Barkley is, like, is it too late to where, like, I'm not doubting the talent at all. And, I mean, even go back to rookie, sophomore Barkley. Like, imagine if he had a real team, because he was putting up almost 6 yards per carry. But just the biggest thing that worries me is just the mileage and, like,
bro,
he could be one hit away.
How is JT any less of an injury risk? The guy hasn't stayed healthy.
He's 2 years younger, though.
But you can't say he's not an injury risk. I mean, Barkley is
They
the
both
one.
are.
Barkley's coming off a relatively healthy year. JT is not.
I don't know. It's just close, but I think Kyren, I think he does beat them both, honestly. And
I mean,
I think
I get
Gibbs
it.
is
There's a
tier
big JT
above.
support group out there, for sure, and I get it. But for me, I'm not. There's no way I'm taking anybody but Kyren in that situation. I'm splitting Barkley and Achane, probably drafting a little bit more Achane. And look, JT's right there. He's next. But that's why I don't ever draft JT, is because I always draft those guys more. So JT's never left for me. I never find JT in the exact place that I want him. He's always, you know, I'm always taking these other players. They're just sitting there. But it's to each his own, bro. I just think Barkley. Look, the other thing you got to consider too. Let me go over to the Mars man list.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars man.
I always talk about this. I'm gonna grab this right here. But Barkley's also playing for money, bro. Barkley signed a $37.75 million deal that has $4.5 million tied to incentives that are achievable. And so if he's first team all pro, that's $500,000. 1,500 total rushing and receiving yards, that's $250. If he makes it 2,000 total rushing receiving, that's $500,000. 1,000 regular season rushing yards, and the team is NFC champions, $250,000. And it goes on and on and on. He has $4.5 million in incentives. The boy's playing for money, and he's never had a good offensive line. As I said, You think Barkley's this right here and JT's this. The problem is you don't know what Barkley is. You know what JT is. He's got to stay healthy, but if he is, you know what he is. I have no clue. If I have no clue, you have no clue, Sebastian. Nobody knows how good Barkley is. He's never had a good offense,
he was
bro.
Stuck in New York.
What?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He almost averaged 6 yards a carry in
I know.
New York.
So
like
what I'm trying to tell you is,
so no one knows.
That's what I just said. That's what I just said, Sebastian. That's what I'm saying. You don't know. So what I'm saying is, if you believe that we don't know is going to maybe be better than we've ever anticipated, and I believe that. I believe he's going to rip off 5 yards per carry, and I believe he's going to have double-digit touchdowns, and I believe he's going to have way more receiving work than people expect because they think, oh, Hurts doesn't, and the Eagles don't throw to the running backs. This is Kellen Moore. He changed 95% of this offense. And all I'm hearing is that the ball's not touching the ground. Was that Herbert? Yeah, Herbert just ripped off a nice run. I love Herbert. There you go. There answers your question that they're going to give the running backs a little bit of work. Herbert should be the number one. I don't think this is necessarily fighting for the number 2 job. Herbert to me is the number 1. Herbert has a much better yard per carry average, bringing it into this thing. And Swift was acquired when they signed Swift when they didn't have a Dunze, they didn't have Keenan Allen, they had no weapons at all, but DJ Moore, and now they don't need him. Herbert's just ripping them off. I know it's a preseason game, but Herbert's ripping off nice yards per carry, chunks of plays. He's always been good yards per carry. He's led the league in yards per carry before. He's absolutely electric. I'd love to see Herbert get traded to Dallas midseason. That'd be crazy, but the Bears can't trade Herbert because they need him. He has trouble staying healthy, though. All right. Hey, Sebastian, one more, and then I got to let you go.
I'll come back with something later, but I just thought that JT Barkley thing, it was just tricky.
Yeah, all right, later. Let's see here. Who scored a touchdown there? Colin Johnson. Okay, thank you. Superfish dropping a $20 hauler says, ask and you shall receive. Play the new and improved Keon Coleman drop for all to see again. We're riding the super goat from planet to planet. Could you follow that up with a Cardinal drop? Which one do you want, Superfish? The Lion King one or the one where MHJ's eating footballs? Tell me why this plays. Let me replay that because it was like catchy. Thank you very much, Superfish, for dropping the $20 holler. You absolutely rock. Appreciate you. DeBalt with the $5 holler. Being biased, but I think we really need to discuss McLaurin on the revenge tour. Honestly, I don't think that's biased at all. I think it's very warranted. And we might put him on the Moon Man list, but until then, let's put him on the revenge tour until we get that sorted out. So, revenge tour, here we go.
It's time for some revenge, baby. Revenge tour, revenge tour. Revenge tour, revenge tour.
Let's put him on here. Actually, I think I have the graphic already ready to go for this. Let me see if I can find it real quickly. McLaurin going to the revenge tour grouping real quickly. Guys on the phone line, if everybody on the phone line could mute real quick, I'm coming for you. Just hang tight for me, please. McLaurin is going to be on the revenge tour until we figure out if he's going to be on the Moon Man list. Keon Coleman might move to the Mars Man list. I might even put him on the Saturn Man list, to be honest. I mean, he's on Saturn. He's on Saturn in the video. So appreciate you, DeBalt, for dropping that. DeBalt to the moon. G6 says, man, what are your thoughts on Troy Franklin? I like him, but we need to see what he's. I don't know. I like him, but I'm not expecting much. I'm drafting him at the very end of a best ball draft as like my 8th receiver in hopes that something happens. But very decent shot he gets used, but is he too small? Is he going to get enough run as a rookie? I don't know. Let's go over to, first up would be Alex from San Diego, Alex from San Diego, then Viral, then Scuba, then Farb. Go Alex from San Diego, you're live.
Okay, so tight ends are kind of weird this year in terms of value, and you guys like Kelsey or Laporta who are going way too high, and I would never draft them at that value. Yeah. And then you have guys lower down like McBride and Kincaid who are still good, but a bit overvalued, just not that much, but just a little bit, and I'd rather take other players over them. But I keep doing this every round. Like I keep waiting on the tight end, and eventually I get to a point where I have to settle for Njoku. So at what point do you think it's a good idea to bite the bullet and just take a tight end?
Well, I mean, Njoku's not bad. I think if you couple him with somebody, then you're kind of okay because he's an injury risk. But I don't know, bro. It depends on the build you're working with. It depends on what kind of format you're in. At the end of the day, it's like let me see if I can write. I'll write a name on here. I think one player that I really like that I'm starting to love is Goddard. Well, I've loved Goddard for a while, but Goddard mixed with maybe a Jelani Woods later. I like that a lot, but Goddard seems really, really solid. Where's my, actually, let me go to my tight end. I think I have my tight end rankings somewhere around here. Hold on. I don't know that much has changed, or it could have. Let me just see. Let me see if I find it. Hold on one second, bro. I'm trying to look for it. Here we go. Here are my tight end rankings. Musgrave, Ferguson, Goddard. I mean, you tell me you can't find room for those guys, then you're kicking the can really far down the road. You've already kicked the can on Laporta, Kelsey, Andrews, McBride, Kincaid, Kyle Pitts. So you get to this point, you're still kicking it. I don't like the value. Well, bro, eventually you're gonna run out of tight ends. Ferguson's fantastic, bro.
I think Kittle is, in my opinion, a great value because San Francisco runs through Debo and Kittle, so I love those two guys.
I like Kittle. I just think he lost 30 pounds this offseason and was gaining it back, and was working with that core issue. But I don't know. I'm worried about injury with Kittle this year. But you're not wrong.
Well,
I mean, I've got him.
He's not that injured.
Huh?
He's not that injured, really. He's only missed. He's only played less than 14 games once in his whole career.
Yeah, but he's always banged up, bro. If you watch how he plays so aggressively. I even talked to Raj about this, and Raj even kind of agreed that he plays like Gronk. He's going to have a shorter career than the average tight end because he literally, hangs himself up and to dry for an extra yard or two and gets absolutely leveled. It's not so much that he's missed a ton of games in 2020. He missed half a year, but he has missed like 1 or 2 games pretty much every year, mostly. And while that's not a ton of games, it's still, you see him playing injured. You see him constantly playing hurt. He's always banged up. But I just think that, he's also played a long time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons playing like that adds up. And then he comes in with that core issue or whatever and drop 30 pounds. He looks pretty good right now, but I just have a bad feeling. But like Bowers, I could move Bowers over here to the 10 spot tied, but Kittle is in the 9 spot for me. Ingram goes ahead of him, Ferguson goes ahead of him, and then of course the big 6 go ahead of him. But Kittle for me, I can't rank him any higher. I will put him at 9 though. I think that's safe because Bowers, I'm just not liking his quarterback situation, but I think Bowers is going to be amazing for the long term. Luke Musgrave is not ranked. It's just he's in the top 10. He's a sleeping giant. You want the next breakout tight end that's Hawkinson when Hawkinson broke out. That's Laporta from last year. It's Luke Musgrave potentially, bro. I really, really like him.
Can I get your opinion on one of my sleeper players?
Yeah.
All right, so Dontavian Wicks, there's a stat last year that says basically he was in the whole NFL last season, he was number 1 in getting open versus man coverage, which is crazy for like a 4th-stringer.
Yeah, some of that's like what plays he was in when he was utilized. Like keep in mind that data is not always very transferable when the player's not on the field a lot, or you start looking at like the 4th and 5th wide receiver, seeing some of the worst coverage. But I like Wicks a lot. Wicks will be married to somebody getting hurt. I like Wicks a ton. I think that you couple him with Watson, and then you're kind of safe because if Watson goes down, Wicks is going to get a lot of playing time, and if Watson stays healthy, you're going to get a baller. So I like Wicks a lot. He's definitely somebody I consume a lot at the end of a draft, especially in best ball when I can couple those receivers together. I'm drafting Love, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, and Wicks all in the same team sometimes in best ball. And it's not even costing me that much. I'm still building an entire team around those guys in rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes even 6 still. So just depends. But yeah, I like Wicks a lot. I think he's a good sleeper, but I wouldn't start looking at like he's a top 10 wide receiver. He's not even the number 2 on his team, so he needs injuries and opportunities to open the door. But I like him a lot.
Yeah, but the value is pretty good.
All right, bro. We'll see you later.
All right.
Viral, what's up, my guy? You're live. What's up? What do you hear? What do you say?
I just want a quick question. I'm pick 9 in the first round. I'm thinking about going Jahmyr Gibbs and then smashing Achane over Marvin Harrison, maybe over Puka. Is that you think it's a good call or no?
Sure. I mean, I like Kyron a little bit too there, obviously. Kyron to me is a top 5 overall player. If I had to, I'd draft Kyron at 5. I don't care. And that could piss somebody off. That could make somebody unsubscribe to my channel. I don't care. Like, Kyron was that good. If anybody's going to try and come in and tell me Kyron's not deserving of that, I'm not saying I take him there. I'm stealing him away in round 2 in a non-best ball. I'm stealing Kyron away in round 3 in a best ball. I mean, I'm taking advantage of every one of you that are allowing this mockery of Kyron Williams' ADP to unfold and keep unfolding. I'm taking advantage of this mockery. But I'm just telling you, if anybody's going to come in here and say Kyron doesn't deserve to be a top 5 overall player, you've got the proving to do. Not me, because Kyron already proved it. So if you're going to come in and say he's not going to be, I'm listening to your case. You're not listening to my case. Because the only player better than him was Christian McCaffrey, and barely. There is no one as good as Kyron and McCaffrey. They were head and shoulders above everybody in 2023 per game. And Kyron scored 15 touchdowns in 12 games. So Kyron deserves to be in this conversation. 100%. I'm not saying Achane doesn't, as well deserve it. Kyron Williams was a top 5 running back 50% of his games. He was a top 10 running back 67% of his games. And he has, in my assessment, the number 1 overall blocking offensive line in 2024. The green flags for this are tremendous. And you cuff him to what is arguably the most safe cuffing situation in all of football. You cuff him to Blake Corum, and you have yourself, in my opinion, a bona fide locked top 1 to 5 running back. Not top 5, top 1 to 5. So consider Kyren.
Got it. Yeah, I agree. And then didn't the Eagles draft a new tight end? Isn't there some huge 6'6" guy next?
Well, no one's unseating Goddard, bro. No one's Goddard has to get injured for Dort. No, Goddard's great, bro. Goddard's a top 10 tight end. He's a top 10 tight end. He just needs to stay healthy, and they love him. They love him over in Philly. You know, this is a veteran. This is a guy that knows he knows everything, that he knows Hurts, like the back of his hand. This is going to be a phenomenal. Goddard could be a top 6 tight end. If Goddard stays healthy, he could be 5, 6, 7 for all tight ends in 2024. Goddard and Luke Musgrave are some of my favorite pairings for late tight end smashing. You want to try and get that guy that's going to be the top 5, 6 guy, and you don't have to spend any of the draft capital. You want the breakout, go get Goddard, go get freaking Musgrave. Use that duo and smash, bro. All right, Viral, anything else?
Love
Appreciate your super chats, all your support, Viral to the moon. Love Gibbs, Lockman, and then Kyren Achane, in my opinion, are the 2 best players to take in round 2. I love MHJ. If we're talking redraft, I love MHJ, but if it's Dynasty, MHJ goes in round 1. But Gibbs and Kyren, to me, Bijan and Kyren, to me, are the duos that everybody's going to want to have in hindsight. And Achane too.
Yeah.
All right, later, bro. Scuba, what can I do for you, Scuba? You're live.
Smitty, what's up, man?
What's up, bro?
Hey, I got a question for you, man. I know yesterday I was talking to you about the running backs, and you said that you do like Jerome Ford. So I want to know about Nick Chubb. I don't know when he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna start the season. But are you comfortable with taking a shot on him? If you're because you said that there's a lot of running backs that you like. So if you build up your team, you think that'd be okay to go on a high upside guy like Nick Chubb? I mean, because when he has been out there, he does put up some pretty decent stats, and if he's going to go in like a lower round, I feel like I don't know, for me, it might be worth the risk depending on like where he's going. Because before, if I'm correct, he was usually like a first or second round pick.
But that doesn't matter.
Of the time.
That doesn't matter. I used to be able to run a 4-minute mile. I can't do that anymore, Scuba. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he was. His knee was mangled. His knee, bro. His knee. I've got a model here of his knee. Hold on. It's right here. Here it is. You're watching, Scuba. Can you see the screen? I want to be very delicate because this is a knee. This is his knee, bro. That's his knee, bro. His knee was mangled. He had 2 surgeries. His ACL surgery he had in December. I know I'm not taking Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, you're waiting half a year on him anyway. But Nick Chubb is 28 years old, coming off of the second most gruesome knee injury in the history of football. You know who had the first most gruesome knee injury? Nick Chubb in college, the same injury. And I've never seen the injury happen to any other player where their knee goes completely to the side, or this time went to the side. The first time it went to the front, complete right angle. It made an L in the opposite direction in both of these injuries. Now, he did recover from the first one, but he was a young kid. The odds of a player having a successful year off of an ACL tear alone are very low when you're above the age of 27. And he had his knee mangled. So mangled, they couldn't even do his ACL surgery until months later, and they did it like November 30th or something. Nick Chubb is not a player I'm going to recommend anybody draft. It doesn't matter if he squats 600 pounds in an Instagram video. I put it on my IG. You can go watch it. But I've been screaming this for months. Scuba, I love you, pal. And I'm not saying this because I don't want you to call in and ask questions and be afraid I'm going to yell at you. We've already talked about this. But you really do need to catch more shows because we've handled it. We've talked about this all off season. So, Scuba, you need to buckle up. You need to get in here on the Monday through Friday shows. You miss them, you need to listen to them while you're getting your steps in because we're all going to drop some LBs, get in shape. But we need you here full time, Scuba.
No, that's no problem. To me, like I said, it was just more so, it was just like the cost of entry because depending on like where he is, even if he doesn't like pan out, like you can drop him anyway. But like, I feel like there'd just be like no risk. That was just like the only reason why I was just asking.
You get Ford and you have no other options. You're talking about grabbing like Estime, and you're like, I don't know if Estime. Sure, you want to grab Chubb and Ford and have them together. I'm not against it. I'm just telling you, the odds of I'd rather grab a player that I think is going to do well all year. Or like a Benson, for example. If someone's going to grab Nick Chubb and Benson sitting out there in your grandma league until round 12, I'm taking Benson. Now, he'll go earlier in a Shark league, but it just depends on what's on the clock, bro.
Yeah, no, like I said, the reason why I was asking is because if you start out pretty good and like you already have like 4 or 5 starters. And I know if there's a lot of rookies and all those other guys that have like high upside, but
I got you, bro. I got you. We understand what you're
like
cooking.
That, you know what I mean?
We understand what you're cooking up, but do what you got to do. Scuba, trust your gut because I could be wrong on it. Maybe Chubb has an amazing weeks 10 through 17. I mean, is it possible? Sure. Is he out there squatting 600 pounds? Yeah, but you know what? That's not even good. Like everyone's celebrating that Nick Chubb. He just had his ACL surgery and he's out squatting 600 pounds. Guess what? That's not good. He shouldn't be doing that. He's putting himself in a very vulnerable position. Maybe the reason Nick Chubb's knees twice have done what they've done, no one else's have done what his knees have done. No one else's knees bend completely right angle in one direction. And I know he got hit. I get it. They're massive hits. But like, sometimes there's something to you're trying to impress somebody too much by squatting 600 pounds when you're still recovering from a total knee mangling. No wonder your knee's going to be vulnerable. Your whole body, your bone structure. This is the kind of guy that goes out there and cuts and snaps his leg in half because he's been pushing his body to the limit when he shouldn't be. He should be working on just getting his, speed and quickness back and the trust between his head and his knee because his knee got mangled. When you tear your ACL, your MCL, your LCL, all these ligaments, especially, your ACL and your PCL, whatever, you're severing a connection between your brain and your knee. And it takes months, and I know he's done it before, but it takes months and months for you to trust your knee and also for your brain to connect with it. You'll be when I tore my ACL, I'd be walking through the grocery store, bro, and my body would turn left, but my knee wouldn't. And I'd keep walking down the aisle straight. I'd be trying to turn left. I swear to you, I'd be like this. And I'd keep walking. And I'm like, what in the hell? My knee wouldn't respond. It takes months to reconnect and talk to your knee. There's so much involved in the mangling of a knee that happened with him. All right, I gotta roll, Scuba. Appreciate you. We need you full-time on here, pal. All right, call in anytime. We love having you calling, Scuba. Scuba to the moon.
All right. Hey, Smitty, if you're doing a draft tonight, I'll definitely call you back, man, and I'll try to draft with you.
All right, thanks, Scuba. Later.
All right, later, pal.
By the way, Cam Akers, one of the most injury-prone players in the National Football League. Only J.K. Dobbins is more injury-prone. Let's see what happens. I'm not saying I'm not rooting for the guy, but the odds of him staying healthy are near slim to none. Smitty, it's heating on a new account. Heating, thank you, appreciate you, pal. Neighbors for Rookie of the Year. Starting to think Neighbors for Rookie of the Year. He's going to be nasty. You still hate on that fit with Danny Dimes, Danny Pennies. Yeah, I mean, how can he be Rookie of the Year? How is he going to beat out J5 in a quarter? I just don't see it. Not to mention, Keon Coleman's going to outscore him in his rookie year. And now I think Neighbors will be a top 5 to 10 wide receiver, but he needs a quarterback. Danny Dimes is going to get him hurt. He's going to get him hurt, bro. This is not going to be good. Texans scoring a touchdown to Cam Akers. Cam trying to come back. This will be. I'll be pulling for him though. I'll tell you that. This will be good for him making the team. But remember, he's going up against he's wide open. That was good. That's good though. Good for Cam. But the likelihood of Cam staying healthy is slim to freaking none. But good for Cam. That Achilles injury is just nasty, bro. It's so nasty. Thank you, Heating. Appreciate you. But Neighbors will be worth a 3rd round pick in hindsight, I think, this year. But you take him in round 2, you're hoping for things that probably can't come true. Garrett Garcia, sup Smitty, got the 12 pick on ESPN PPR. What are your 2 favorite between Saquon, JT, Puka, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison, Kyron, Gibbs, Marvin, H.N.? Love the stream. I think you probably heard my response by now. Based on this question, kind of already hit, unless you weren't on the stream when I answered it. But it's basically Gibbs and Kyron. Those would be my 2 favorite from that grouping. I think you could easily argue Puka or MHJ or Saquon or JT. They're all very close. Garrett Wilson. But for me, I'm drafting Gibbs and Kyron, and I'm taking like Tank Dells and DKs and Debos and whatever I can get for my 2 wide receivers. And I'm not even scared to go running back, quarterback. I'm not scared to go Gibbs, Kyron, Mahomes, and get a Tank Dell, and get a Keon Coleman, and get McLaurin, or get Christian Watson and Jaden Reed and Wicks as my wide receiver 3 or 2.5. Like, I'm not afraid to do that at all. But I'm taking Gibbs and I'm taking Kyron, and I'm going RB in that situation. And that's just me. I'm going RB not because I'm choosing to draft a position. I'm drafting best player available. But I'm just telling you, 9 times out of 10, Kyron Williams is the best player available. 9 times out of 10, Achan's the best player available. 9 times out of 10, Gibbs or Bijan or Breece Hall are the best player available. That's why I can say it with such authority. Hate to sound morbid, but hopefully Danny Dimes. Oh man, yeah, he's wishing ill will upon Danny. Okay, I think we're cleared on the super chats. Couple more calls and then we're gonna be out of here. We might be back tonight. If you guys want to draft, if we do go live tonight, I can't guarantee tonight we will, but I will try for sure. Hit this link right here, Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. I'm gonna pin the link in the live chat. This is how you would draft with us on Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Drop it like it's hot. Hit that link. Do it live. Appreciate you all. Is this a fumble or is this, what is this? Oh no. How are you guys feeling about the kickoff rules so far after watching a little bit of it? Not that crazy though, right? So far? Not that crazy. How many people we got in here? 146. Should I share a little bit about what's going on this season? This season, once the season begins, Moon Man, Mars Man, Saturn Man, locked in. It's done. We're not going to update those anymore. Those are an off-season product. Okay, what's the in-season product? I said I wouldn't show this, but I'm going to show it right now. I'm going to show it.
Wanted. The top most wanted outlaws. Wanted.
This is where, in the in-season, we create an equivalent of the Mars Men, Moon Men, Saturn Men. And it's a wild, wild west out there during the season. We aren't going near any Moon Men, Mars Men, Saturn Men. Those are all off-season, baby. We found our first, even though it's the off-season, our first outlaw. And he's going to remain an outlaw all season long.
Want it. Want it. Cause they want it. Dead or alive.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is what you're going to be dealing with all in season long. Wild Wild West is here, and it's here to mother freaking stay.
Mashed potatoes.
Yep. It's going to be outlaw season all season. So get ready for that. Get ready for a whole dose of that, nonstop. All right. Anybody has a final phone call? I'll take 2 phone calls and then I'm out of here. So dial in, and I'll handle whatever you got real quickly. Here's the phone number.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Rockout says check your DM. Let's see what Rockout's cooked up.
We know how to kiss the ball. Quentin Johnson only know how to kiss the ball with his body. Straight like it going like it do it on a yachty. It's just like we going like it drinking in Bacardi. He's only ready to a party, but he don't know how to catch like real thing, like JJ, like Cray Day, like Big Pay. He not doing that. He not proving nothing.
Rock out. Appreciate you, Rock out.
He is a body catcher.
Matt Biaggi, you're live. What can I do for you?
I'm just letting you know you're up in your slow puppy.
Okay. I'm probably up in like 30 drafts. But thank you.
Alrighty.
What can I do for you, Biaggi? What else you got going on?
I'm looking to see who I'm going to be picking after you. But
Guys gonna make me
nothing.
draft.
Just pretty much like the content.
Got a boy. All right, hold on. Slow draft. Is it the one with 3 hours left?
No. Let me see here.
I'm probably barely on the clock, and he guys calling me to draft. Hey, you got to pick? You're like John. John's like, you got to pick? You're up in the draft, Smitty. I know you're trying to break news right now, but you're up in the draft. It's John. Okay, can you pick? Can you pick? What's the time left on it? I'll go in there and draft for you, right?
I'm pulling it up.
All right. Let me answer this call while you're doing that. 478 caller. You got your radio up or your show up, bro.
Yeah, you got 9 hours. 9 hours to make
9 hours. I don't have a 9-hour draft. I have an 8:55.
Okay.
Is that the one?
That must be you.
Okay, because I got so many drafts, you got to be specific. Okay, so what is your name? You're Ben?
I'm after you.
You're Ben?
I'm after you. What?
Your name is Ben?
No.
Okay, then that's not the right. You're not being specific. There's a draft that has 8 minutes and 29 or 8 hours and 29 minutes left.
It says 9 hours for me in the slow puppy. The last pick in that draft, somebody took Kincaid.
What's your name in there?
Bats.
I don't know. I'll check later. I've checked and it doesn't seem to show it. Okay. Hold on a second.
Right.
Biaggi, what else you got? Anything else?
That's it.
All right, Biaggi. See you later, bro.
Later.
Gage from Pennsylvania?
Yeah, Pennsylvania.
What's up, man?
Hey, man, I just got a quick question for you. So, in terms of JD5, the future Hall of Famer, and with Devon A. Trainer, are those two guys you just keep in your lineup no matter what kind of contest they're going against?
What do you mean?
So you just start them every week no matter who their matchup is?
Oh, you said contest, so I was thinking like best ball, where you don't have to decide. Yeah, JD5's tough. Like, it depends what you have. Like, let me give you an example. I got JD5, and I have Burrow. in a dynasty league, and it's a follower league. There's like 3 of them out there that I created that have lasted the test of time. And I've got Burrow and JD5. I'm very tempted to play JD5 right away. Will I? I don't know. Depends how he's looking. There's a lot of time left. Right now, probably not, but I want to. And look at AR5. Look what he did in his first couple games. You never know. JD5 looks like a absolute surgeon out there. But, we'll have to see. It depends on Jamar Chase, how that's all going, whether I start JD5 or not. But that's who you'd have to be looking at.
Sounds good. What about Devon Achane?
Would I start Devon Achane?
Yeah, no matter what.
Hold on one second.
Finish him. Call terminated.
It's a badge of honor, Gage. It's a badge of honor. Farb, you're the final caller, Farb.
What's up, man? Going off the Achane here. I mentioned in the chat, I was on the phone before, but I had to get off. We're mentioning him in the second round, and I was just looking at some rankings. ESPN has him ranked in PPR redraft 41. Fantasy Pros got him ranked in the 40s, 38. So I don't know if these rankings are so far off, or just trying to get your thoughts on these rankings.
Or if I'm crazy, is that what you're trying to say? I don't know if you're.
I know you're crazy. I know that.
That's true. That's true.
I know you're crazy, but you go off ADP a lot. So I'm just saying
I don't go off ADP a lot. I smash and manipulate ADP. I make people get me coffee off ADP. I don't draft off ADP.
Right.
Look, bro, let me just tell you this. If Achane's
going,
huh?
Okay.
I mean, I think if you're getting Achane in the 40s, you're playing in a Mickey Mouse league, and I think you should take advantage of that. But any shark is going to draft Achane by the beginning of the 25, 26, 27, the beginning of the third round. If Achane falls to the 40s or something, I don't know where you're mock drafting, and you said, whatever, but there's no way. That's Mickey Mouse. I don't care if it's on Fantasy Pros or wherever. There's no way you're drafting with good players and they're letting Achane fall to the 40s. It's okay. I have a grandma league that I play in, and it's kind of fun. I've never got rid of it. It's been, with buddies, and they don't really pay attention and all that. I do that. I play in that league. I'll never leave that league because I got old time friends in it and stuff like that. But it's okay. There's no shame in that. But you're not playing in an adult league if Achane's going in the 40s. But I also think if you're using ADP or the suggested rank or the mock draft system, you're gonna have a really, really upset look on your face when somebody doesn't allow that to manipulate where they're taking him, and somebody says take an Achane at 3.1. Ha! Can't believe he fell to 3.1, suckers. And you're gonna go, but he was 17 picks down on the pre-rank. The pre-rank doesn't always mean anything, bro. I don't draft off the pre-rank. I try and let someone fall a little bit extra if I can. Sure. But this mock draft data over on, look, mock drafts are a ghost town. They're a ghost town. No one's mock drafting anymore, bro. It may look like they are because, there are a bunch of people that do it over and over, because I don't blame someone if they can't do best ball or daily fantasy or whatever. They're gonna do it. People that get real mad about that say, Smitty, you're wrong. There's tons of mock drafting going on. Yeah, of the people that can't get into the underdog drafts, and I feel bad. Arizona was one of those states that it wasn't allowed here for a while, and I was just clamoring over it. Come on, and it finally opened up a couple years ago. I was so pumped. But mock drafts are a ghost town, and what I mean by that is the really good people aren't mock drafting anymore. They're playing. Why would I waste my time on a mock draft when I can put in $3 or $5 and maybe win $20,000 to $100,000 on that mock draft. So what I'm trying to say is maybe there are a lot of people mock drafting in a small condensed amount of people that can't do that. And I understand. I'm not making fun of them because they can't play underdog or something in their state. But all the people that are really good are not doing it. And so you're mock drafting against garbage mock drafters, and they're leaving the draft. The computer's finishing the draft, piling more bad ADP data on more bad ADP data. There's nothing more unreliable than ESPN mock draft data, ADP rankings, Yahoo mock draft data or ADP rankings, or any mock draft tool ADP rankings. Nothing more inaccurate. And I think that even though maybe you can get away with more in ESPN because other people are seeing what you're seeing, and so they're going to rinse and repeat it a little bit, right? Not everybody's going to. If I'm drafting in an ESPN draft, if Bob's drafting in an ESPN draft, anybody that's watching and consuming content, they're not going to sit there and go, oh, H-An's going 45. I'm going to let that go as far as like you're going to take them at some point. H-An I'd take at 12 overall, bro. I'd take H-An at 12, 13. Call it 2.1, 13. I'd take him 13 overall. But I'm crazy.
Fair enough.
As you said.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. What I was asking kind of was, like, with, you know, and you just answered it in that last statement there. You know, with Saquon, you know, you're saying take him over Saquon or close by, you know, both of them and JT. And I was saying, well, his rankings on these sites are so low, maybe there's a shot to get both. But I get what you're saying. Take him if you want there.
Maybe, you know, if everybody has gotten, you know, they're just like drafting with their head cut off like a ghost, you know, town type of, like if people are auto drafting and they don't even know what they're doing, like that kind of environment, like a work league, maybe. I just can't guarantee that 11 other people are going to continue to see H-An down there and go, I'm just going to follow the suggestion. Like, I don't know. I all it takes is one like if I'm drafting, let me give you an example. If you've got a number 1 overall pick, that means you got the 3.1, right? If I'm drafting at 3.1, I'm reaching on someone like that versus trying to wait literally 2 full rounds to get back on the clock. So if your crafty drafter is in that position, he's not punting H-An. He's not punting Kyron, et cetera, et cetera. Not to mention overall. I think a lot of these rankings. But here's the other thing too: is you cited a couple of wild rankings for H-An. I've got the best ball data and non-best ball ADP data right here. So if we look at H-An, who I believe has a what is it? H-An's got a 27 overall ADP. I'm looking at it right here, bro. CBS, he's ranked 26. ESPN, he's ranked 30, and Yahoo, he's ranked 30. So what that tells me is if you're seeing him in the 40s, you're seeing him in statistical projected order, because I'm looking at the data right here, and you're wrong on him being in the 40s on ESPN, on Yahoo, CBS, whatever. If you're talking about ADP data.
Yeah, now I was looking at the rankings, which I assumed would be like their consensus ESPN analyst consensus rankings. Whereas, I can't imagine many people had their draft yet that there could be too precise
the ADP.
Just off the box.
Bro, the ADP data is built off of mock drafts. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So this 30 overall on ESPN, this 30 overall on Yahoo is driven and cooked up by mock draft data. So what I'm saying is he's not touching the 40s. He's barely escaping 29 overall on both of those formats that are garbage to draft on and prepare on. But I will say this, that I want to draft on ESPN or Yahoo in a couple leagues because that the ADP looks very bad. It's going to suggest some bad things to people, and I'm hoping I can, you know, if Miss Smitty's got her work league, it's usually on Yahoo, I think, and I'm not going to try and convince him to go off it. I'm going to be like, okay, let's see how this goes, but I'm not going to push my luck either and assume that the mock draft data is going to guide everybody the entire way, is what I'm trying to tell you. All right, hey, bro, I got to go. Call in if we come back tonight, Farb. Appreciate you. Later.
You too, man. Peace.
Cause they want it. These outlaws are on the run. Smitty, can I just ask you one thing? Can we do karate in the garage? Want it. Want it. Want it. Want it. Want it. The top most wanted outlaws. Want it. Want it.
I'll see you all later. Appreciate every single one of you. If you guys think the off-season content is fire, just you wait. The Wild Wild West theme for the in-season is going to blow your mind.
Want it. Smitty, can I just ask you one thing? Can we do karate in the garage?
I'm sorry, we had 2 super chats here I may have missed. Rock out said check your DM, so I got that one. And Slayer with the final super chat. Slayer, are you still here? Can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord, that might be a good one, Slayer, to add to it. We'll have Denny serenade us. He sung that before. I can feel it, and he goes nuts. See you all later. Appreciate you. Don't forget the link pinned is so you can get into the live drafts. I don't know for sure if we're coming back tonight to draft. I will do my best. Appreciate you.
Want it. Cause they want it, dead or alive.